In this video, we'll see how to divide numbers in scientific notation. We will simplify each expression and write all solutions in proper scientific notation. I'll use 3 steps to solve each problem. For example, I have a problem where there is division involved, so I'm dividing 2 numbers in scientific notation. 1.5, decimal is not visible here, 1.5 times 10 to the 6th power divided by 3 times 10 to the 2nd. So those 2 numbers right now are in scientific notation and they're being divided. So step 1, we will divide the numerical bases. It means we will divide the 1.5 by 3. Then we will use the quotient rule of exponents. If we have to divide, which division and fraction line is the same thing, 2 powers of 10, we keep the power of 10 and subtract the exponents. So keep the base, subtract the exponents. So I'm going to say times 10 to the power of 6 minus 2. When I divide 1.5 divided by 3, I have 1.5 divided by 3, line up the decimal. 3 doesn't go into 1, but it goes into 15 5 times, so that's behind the decimal. 15 minus 15 is 0, so that is my answer, 0.5 for the division of 1.5 divided by 3 times 10 to the 4th power, because 6 minus 2 is 10 to the 4th. So now check to make sure that step 3 is the solution in scientific notation written properly. To be a proper scientific notation, I cannot have 0 point. I have to have a non-zero digit. So I have to take this 0.5 and change it to scientific notation proper. That is 5 point. 5 is in the tens place, so that means times 10 to the negative 1, and bring down the 10 to the 4th from the previous line. So now I have 5 point or 5.0, and I can use the product rule, keep the base at the exponents, and I'm going to have 5 times 10, negative 1 plus 3, plus 4 is 3. So here we have our proper scientific notation now, which is 5 or 5 point, whole number 5 times 10 to the 3rd power. Let's see another example. Following the same steps, we are going to divide the numerical bases, use the quotient rule for the power of 10, and then write the solution in proper scientific notation. So we have numerical bases, 2.5 divided by 5, multiplied by the power of 10, subtract the exponents 2 minus 3. So divide the numerical bases and then multiply by the power of 10 with subtracting the exponents. Keep the base, subtract the exponents. Let's do the division. 2.5 divided by 5. 5 doesn't go into 2, but it goes into 25 5 times. And that's 25. 5 times 5, 25. Subtract. Done dividing. 0.5 again. Ten to the power of negative 1. 2 minus 3, negative 1. Check to make sure the solution is in proper scientific notation. So I can't have a 0 point. That means that I have to change this number to 5 point, and 5 tenths is 10 to the negative 1st, multiplied by the previous 10 to the negative 1st. Now I have 5 times 10 to the negative second, because negative 1 plus negative 1 in the product of powers rule, I keep the base and add the exponents. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is negative 2. So now my answer is in proper scientific notation. 5 times 10 to the negative 2. Another example. Division or fraction is the same thing. So another way of showing the two numbers being divided in scientific notation, I can show them in the fraction, which I like even more because here I can see the numerical basis, 8.1 divided by 3, so I do that division, and then I see the powers of 10 where I have to use our quotient rule. Keep the base of 10 and subtract the exponents. So 8.1 divided by 3, that's first, step 1. Quotient rule, keep the base, subtract the exponent, so negative 2 and then subtract negative 4. I'll do the division, 8.1 divided by 3. 3 goes into 8 twice, which is 2 times 3, 6. Subtract. Bring down a 1, that'd be 3 goes into 21 7 times, which is 21. So I'm going to say 2.7. The answer for the division times 10 to the negative and negative we have plus. Negative 2 plus 4 will be second power positive. So integer rules. Negative 2 plus 4. Negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. Check to make sure that the solution is in proper scientific notation. So I have 2.7. It's a one-digit non-zero and a power of 10. This one is right away in proper scientific notation. No changes need to be done any further. Next example, we have another fraction. Fraction means division. If I have to divide 7 by 14, the numerical basis, and quotient rule for the powers of 10, negative 1 minus 8. Keep the base, subtract the exponents. Then I have to do my division. 7 divide by 14. 14 doesn't go into 7, so I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. But 14 goes into 75 times. And that is 0.5 times 10 to the power of negative 9. Same sign, add the numbers, keep the sign. Check to make sure the solution is in the proper scientific notation. That's our step 3. And when I check, I have 0.5. 0.5 is not in proper scientific notation. I can't have 0. I have to have a digit between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9. So we have to change the 0.5 into 5, and it's tens. Tens place is 10 to the negative first, with 10 to the negative 9 from the previous problem, from the previous line. We have the 5, and keep the base of 10 in the product and add the exponents. Negative 1 plus negative 9 will be the power of negative 10. Let's see one more example following the same steps. First, we have to divide the numerical basis and then use the quotient rule for the power of 10. So first I have to divide 1.25 by 5 and then times the power of 10 of 2 minus negative 1. I'm going to do my division. 1.25 divide by 5. 5 does not go into 1, but it goes into 12, so behind the decimal now 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract, bring down the 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. And we're done dividing. So the answer for our division, 1.25 divided by 5 is 0.25. The power of 10 will be 3. 2 minus negative is addition, so 2 plus 1 is 3. Then we check for the step 3. We have to make sure that our answer is in proper scientific notation, and this is not, so we have to change 0.25 into 2.5 with 2 first significant digit being in a tens place. That's 10 to the negative first, and then bring down the 10 to the third from the previous line, where 2.5 now is in proper form. It's a one digit between 1 and 9. Keep the base 10 and add the exponents. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. That answer now is in proper scientific notation. So when we are dividing numbers in scientific notation, we divide our numerical bases first. Use the quotient rule where you keep the base of 10 and subtract the exponents. Then at the end, always make sure that your answer or your solution is written in proper scientific notation.